Hello and welcome back to the Designed as You profile series, where we are unpacking all the profile lines to help you support stepping into your true self purpose, mission, and contribution here. There is something so fulfilling and natural as a human to not only be expressing and moving in your authentic way, but also contributing from that place. A wise man once said that we came here as human species to grow and contribute. And there's a reason why when you contribute from your authentic, effervescent, magnetic place, that you receive wealth, abundance, love, purpose, because that's what we're here for. And so the profile lines are giving the information of your role here, what you're here to do, what you get to step into, the archetype that's going to bring out the most of your energy and your mission here. And when you can lean into that and leverage that and even just know that, that's the other important thing. If we don't even realize it and don't even know that that's what we're here for, then it can be, it's almost like you're throwing spaghetti at the wall or trying to make sense in the dark. Yes, you're going to get there, but it's just so beautiful that human design always just gives us this roadmap. It just gives us that permission slip as well. So we can do the damn thing and we can move forward and we can create and we can enjoy here. And that's always going to come when you follow your bliss, follow your strategy and authority, your intuition, because from there, you're guided exactly where you're meant to go. You follow the breadcrumbs, you follow each step as it presents. And so, sixth line, this is your profile video and welcome. We've come to the end of the profiles, and I just want to remind you, you are a combination of two profile lines, so two numbers. If you're here, you are going to be either a 6-2, a 6-3, a 3-6, a 4-6, and yes, so welcome. So your profile is a combination of two lines, which then makes up your profile. The first number is what you are consciously aware of. It's what you're here to truly embody and leverage in this lifetime, this archetype. And then the second number is what you may be a little bit more unconscious to, but it's what most people see in you. So we have in total 12 profiles that are a combination of the 6 profile lines. So if you want to go deeper, and we do this in the certification, there is a whole different meaning for when the two numbers come together. But for now, I think it's really great information. You can apply it so readily and easily by understanding each profile line, because you are the embodiment of both. This is why sometimes people feel like a bit of a walking contradiction, because you do have two sides to your personality, one on the conscious and one on the subconscious. And so both parts of you are very present and very important. It's not like one is more important than the other. But where you're consciously aware, you may be more consciously leveraging and living and embodying and activating that. Where you're in your subconscious is what people look to you. If you think about it in a neuroscience perspective, your subconscious is what is creating your actions and is generating your reality. So when you can be aware of your subconscious, and again, be in the higher expression, because within the profiles, you're going to have a higher and a lower expression. So we want to be leveraging and stepping into the higher expression, which is your highest, truest self. And this is what's going to create what you desire in the world. You know, your energy matters, and how you move through the world and the energy behind your action dictates what you receive and dictates its outcome. So when you can move in your highest self frequency, you will create and manifest what you desire. Whereas when you're in your lower self, it is just a beautiful awareness when you're in this not self behavior of your profile. So that might be imposter syndrome. That might be dimming your light. That might be hiding yourself. That might be overly perfectionist or people pleasing. We'll go through them all. It's great awareness. So you also have a combination of all the profile lines. That's also what a lot of people don't realize, is that in your chart, you have multiple placements of profile lines. Yes, you have your main one, which is the one that you will say on your chart on the profile side, but you have multiple different types. So if this relates, if this resonates, I'm sure you have it in other aspects of your chart. So look to your human design chart. I will put the link below that you can receive your free chart on my website. My chart system will give you a lot more information than just your regular on the internet. So definitely generate, it's free. And then look to your profile and just remember that It's going to create a whole nother meaning when you bring the two profile lines together. This is where human design gets very nuanced and very deep. And then from there, come back to this recording. Also check out my energy type videos, because that is the most important part of your human design. And once you know that, once you understand how to use your energy, this profile is the archetype in which you can embody. So what I love about archetypes is that we can lean into that. We can fully express ourselves in that. And we can embody this archetype, because the power of archetypes is that we can then consciously allow our energy to express or move in that way. I used as an example in one of the first episodes was, if you think about the queen or the king archetype, when you envision that energy of truth, of knowing, of calmness, of authority, of unwavering, that you can then move through the world from that place. And so when we come at the profile lines and understand, this is my journey here, this is my energy, this is who I am, so I can fully embody that, fully express that, give from that place. And this is my process. When we don't understand our process, we can have a lot of shame and look to other people and being like, why does it just seem to work for them? Or why can they do that thing and it works out, but for me, it doesn't? And so when we think about the profiles, we have so much just acceptance, and we can then gain the blessings in our process rather than feel like it should be another way or that we're wrong. If you haven't already, definitely check out our other profile videos. Even if you're not one of those profile numbers, it's so powerful to understand them for your people and your relationships and those that you work with, because when you understand how they operate, it just creates way more harmonious relationships. And you also can leverage each other. You can work to each other's strengths. And also as well, if you feel like I just don't understand them, check out the other videos. It's going to help you understand their psyche. And as well, you're going to understand your own psyche, like how you relate together. So 6th line, you are at the end of the profile for very good reason, because you are an old soul. 6 lines are so deep. 6 lines are seekers, are inherently curious. You desire to create your version of heaven on earth here. I just see 6 lines have such big hearts and very giving. You see the potential of humanity. You see the potential of where we could go and how we could live and the peace that is available to us. And you're very self-aware. I really want to remind you, you are such an ancient soul as a 6 line. You definitely would have been someone, even from a young age, that was an old soul. And for reasons. You're here to bring ancient wisdom, like that divine wisdom that's within you, and that's naturally within you. So you need to create space in your life. It's not so much as what you're learning through books or other things. Yes, that will awaken and remind you of that knowledge and knowing within you, but you have all your answers. You are incredibly, incredibly connected to life, to the divine, to others. And you are what's known as the role model here. You are a role model when you are in living embodiment of your truth, where your intuition is guiding you. What you know to be right, what you know to be capital T truth for you. Remember, that's quite subjective. It might be a truth for you. It might not be for other people, but it's yours. You become that embodied role model that people look up to. Even if you don't see that, people look up to you. The thing is, a 6 line can be quite hard on themselves. They're definitely the most hard of themselves out of all the profiles, and quite perfectionist and have very high standards. And 6 lines, you operate at a high standard. 6 lines are people that have high attention to detail. You have a very big growth mindset, and you're always wanting to better yourself. You're wanting to better your work. And other people aren't always on the same wavelength. Other people don't have the same priorities. Other people don't operate at your high standard. And if you're listening to this, I can say it, but you do operate at a high standard to most people. And ideally, you'd be able to duplicate yourself so you had another one of you to be able to support you. But in our reality, not everyone is going to operate at your level of excellence. And I say this, please, not to boost the ego. That's not always the best way to be really high standards and perfectionism, because sometimes it can be a lot of analysis paralysis, procrastination, bringing yourself down so you actually don't end up sharing, or you don't actually make yourself seen, or you don't contribute in a way that you really could. And so sometimes these high standards can actually be to your detriment. And we need you to move forward. Perfectionism doesn't equal excellence. It actually does the opposite. And so when you can allow yourself to be, express, move, share in quote unquote an imperfect way, which is such a still high level, even if you think it's imperfect, it's still high level to everyone else. We need you. So don't hide yourself. Don't talk yourself down. Don't put these crazy high standards that you're always seeing what's going wrong. You're always being your own worst enemy. You find your purpose when you allow your natural energy to guide you forward, when you see that every single experience in your life has been for a reason, and that you are a role model when you just embody in your truth. It's not like you're even purposely becoming a role model just by you following your strategy and authority and being in your true nature and releasing all your conditioning and releasing limiting stories and being in your natural essence. You will be a role model. You are a deep thinker. You're a big dreamer. And I often say that like the sixth line believes in the like happy ending, the fairy tale ending. And to some people that can seem naive, but I just want to remind you that that's what you're here to create. You're here to create your version of heaven on earth. And that's in no way do you need to prove yourself to other people or make people understand or become something for someone else that they expect from you. And a lot of the time, six lines go down that track. They want to make other people proud. They want to succeed, but it's not their true self success. It's success societally. And it just leaves them feeling really unfulfilled and burnt out. And it'll often happen quite early on for a six line because you get to the lesson quick. And so you get the power to shift and change your reality and know that this is just your playground here, six line. Like karma is just to enjoy. You set big goals and big targets in your life because you're here to do them. You're here to surpass them. And so it's so important though that they are true for you. They come from your intuition, your strategy and authority rather than what you think societally is expected from you, because you'll do them, but it's going to feel hard. It's going to feel challenging and it's not going to be what your energy is for. It can leave you quite unfulfilled. So you may as well do the thing that you care about and the thing that feels most expansive and authentic to you, because from there it multiplies and magnifies in ways that you can't logically understand. It's like you have that co-creation and support from the universe because that's what you're here to do and create. So you tend to take charge. The six lines tend to take charge. They have a high standard. They have a high vision. Just know that not everyone is on your level, and just notice when you get frustrated because it's just creating your own suffering. If you're putting so much expectations and standards, then other people feel like they're letting you down, especially in your personal relationships. You can see the potential in things. You can see the potential in other people. But if they don't see that, and if they're not willing to step up to the plate, don't waste your energy and take people for their action, not just their words. Because what can happen is that you end up feeling so heartbroken, because loyalty is so important to a six line, and truth and like being honest and being in your integrity. Like integrity is so important for a six line. And I see this often where six lines don't start something new because they feel like it's out of their integrity. And I'll give an example. For example, you learn human design and you want to become a human design teacher or practitioner, but you feel out of your integrity because it feels stretchy and it feels new. And you're like, am I really ready for this? And I just want to remind you as a five line, this feels a bit more natural for, is that you're going to feel new at the start and it's going to feel stretchy, but you will not be given an opportunity if you're not ready for it. And you can be in your integrity and still move forward and know what you're ready for on a soul level. But notice when it's your fear and the inner critic that's telling you that you're not ready. So always focus on your life, your dream, your desires, because a lot of the time a six line can try and be everything for everyone. And then they feel really heartbroken, especially if you put all your energy because you see the potential in something or someone, but they don't see it. And then you feel heartbroken because you had a good intention and then you feel a bit bitter or taken advantage of. And just remember that they didn't really ask for it. And it's about trusting and following and honing into what is my desire and what am I here for? Because that's how your energy is going to be best of service to the whole, rather than focusing on trying to control other things or other people or other outcomes. So sixes thrive with a healthy sense of optimism. You are naturally optimistic. Notice when you get into lack and fear, that is not your truth. That is the not self of the sixth line, is being in your perfectionism, being afraid in scarcity and in lack, being really hard on yourself so you don't move forward. And so you procrastinate. And then, you're constantly tinkering on that Canva slides, and it's just get it out. Like, people want your wisdom. Also, as well, I notice six lines can hide themselves and not want to be seen when you're just an embodiment of your truth and just moving through the world from your authentic place, from your human design, following your strategy and authority. You are an embodied role model. People are looking to you, and that can't be faked. You can't fake that. And it's not about strategizing to do that. Like, just be it. Just be who you are. You can't not be you. The only thing is that we have these illusions and these lies and these stories that tell us that you is not enough. And so we quieten our voice, or we feel like we're not enough. And so it's not that you have to become anything else, or that anything is wrong with you, or that you have to fix anything. No, it's just that you're releasing all these stories and all these illusions of lack or scarcity or fear, so that you can just be, and you can just express, and you can just live from your true self essence. Because from that place, all your gifts or your wisdom or your insight will naturally flow on, and you will always draw in and connect to the people that are meant for you. So you were born in authority. You were born wise. You were that wise child. Before the first 30 years of your life, a lot of that wisdom can have been forgotten. And they're spoken about different cycles for a six line. This is the only profile that has this, where you have different cycles. Now, for the first 30 years of your life, you operate like a 3 profile. I recommend to go listen to my video on profile line 3, because for the first 30 years, you operate as a 3 line, which means you are constantly trial and error. You're in your experimentation. You haven't really figured out life yet. It's just like throwing spaghetti at the wall, see what sticks. You need to taste everything. You're here to experiment. So if you are under 30 right now and you are a 6 line, this is your time to explore, to refine your process, to develop, to just see. Like, you're not going to know until you try it. And if you don't let yourself try it, then you're missing out on valuable data, valuable information. And you can't be afraid of failure. Everything is just more and more discovering. You're getting to know yourself deeper. You're getting to know what you do like, what you don't like, what does work, what doesn't work. And this is such a prime position. If you're in your 20s, don't try and figure out your life. Just enjoy and experiment. I often see that a 6 line, you have what most people experience in their entire lifetime, you do in your first 30 years. A 6 line has a big life experience, especially in those first 30 years. You can feel like you're in the ringer, you're on the roller coaster, life is your school. But when you see that life is trying to teach you things and you're being invited, and in every scenario, in every situation, you will either receive a blessing or a lesson. And when you can receive the true fruits of what is available for you, especially the lessons, you won't need to keep getting the same lesson. It's just when we ignore it and when we don't listen, we keep on getting the same lesson. We keep getting the same type of partner, the same type of boss, the same type of pattern or problem. But all of it is just trying to show you where you are not free, so you can come back into your true self-embodiment and move forward in a way that is aligned and is empowered as you. So your first cycle is those first 30 years where you're operating as a 3. Listen to the 3 line profile. Be so kind to yourself and be experimental. This is the fun bit. It can feel chaotic, but you can be grounded in your sense of self. Then you have your second phase of your life between 30 and 50. And this is known as being on the roof in human design terminology, where after your Saturn return at 30 years old, you're starting to see things clearer now. Things are starting to calm down. You have a different, higher perspective. If you think of the analogy of being on the roof, you're looking down and you're seeing dynamics, old patterns, old ways of being, old thoughts, old stories, and you're starting to see it more clearly. You're starting to know what is right for you. And it can be confronting because you're starting to really see what's not working. So this is a beautiful time to start to release, to start to let go, to be more in your power, to be more in your authenticity. And you'll notice that you become a little bit more introverted during this time. You want to spend a lot more time in your own energy. Yes, absolutely. You like to be out and about, but you will be more reflective and more internal. And this is where you start to create your life. What do you desire? What's your version of success? What makes you happy? What makes you feel most fulfilled and alive? So during this time, you often will retreat and you'll observe yourself. You'll observe others. And this is where you're in your process of gaining more wisdom. This is where you're actually becoming that embodiment of a role model. You're starting to live true for you. And every single day, you're becoming more and more wise. I want to release this idea that you have to wait until you're in your 50s or 60s until you're in your truest embodiment. Absolutely not. You do not wait for anything. Every single day just gets better and better for you, sixth line. Release any idea of ageism. It just keeps getting better for you. Things are starting to make more sense of how you operate and your place in the world. And this is the time of coming back to your truth. Then we move into your third cycle, which is 50 and above. And this is your era. Again, we're not waiting for it, but this is where you truly come into your full embodied, empowered, I don't give a shit energy of this is who I am, this is what I'm doing. Not in a place where you're rubbing it in everyone's place, just in a place of this is who I am and this is my life and this is my heaven on earth and I get to create whatever I want to create here. So at 50, you re-emerge as your true sense of capital S self, your divine self, your abundant self, your godly self. This is where you step into your role model mentor energy. People will always look to you. People will always feel guided and inspired by you. This is where you're like truly inspiring. So this is where everything starts to move. This is the time that you can just continue to build on all that you've created and to step more and more into your knowing that you are a creator here and that you get to enjoy in this lifetime. As I said, you're an old soul. You've done many a lifetimes. And remember that your joy, your pleasure, your fulfillment, your meaning here is important. And that's what you're here to create. And when you focus on you, it is not selfish, but it actually serves everyone around you because you bring the energy and the frequency up of everyone around you. You can love beautiful things. You can love beautiful experiences. Like you should be surrounded in beauty and luxury. You get to have it all. Show us that you get to have it all. You can be a spiritual being and be very abundant and wealthy and very loving and very connected and very present. You can be and receive all that you desire. And you are showing us that. You are the embodied role model and be the change that you wish to see in the world, as Mahatma Gandhi said. And we need you as a six. Ra said that the sixes are the ones that are moving us forward into this new paradigm. So if you're wanting to dive deeper, six line, we actually have some really beautiful 6-2s in our space. I just feel like six lines are bringing the positive, optimistic perspectives and views that the world needs. So you are needed here. So if you would like to dive into the certification, definitely check out the links below. We've just opened the doors, so we are starting our next cohort very soon. And I'm very excited for this one. This is where six line, you're going to come out of your shell and into your fullest expression. Because it's waiting there. It's just that we have all this like baggage or all of these illusions, these clouds, these stories that tell you that you're not enough. And I just want to remind you that a six line, you are such a light. You are such a powerful source in a soft way. Like six lines, there is so much strength in being soft, so much strength in being wise, so much strength in being in your own process. And just don't let your own perfectionism, your own high standards mean that you become a prisoner to them, mean that you can't be free to be and to express and to live in this world that is your playground. As I said, you came here to enjoy here. You've done a lot of lifetimes, and this is the one that you came here to enjoy and to play and to experience the infinite possibilities that are here. And I just want to remind you that if you have a big dream or a big vision, or if you are someone that desires it all, it's for a reason. And you're meant to have your happy ending, but it can happen now. You're having a happy beginning, happy middle, happy ending, all through all the cycles. And know that life is always supporting you and life is always guiding you. You know, you learn through life, you learn through your experiences, and you become such an embodied role model because of that. Thank you so much for being you, honestly, six lines. And thank you for listening. If you are in relationship with a six line, just empower them to be their truest self. See them where they maybe stuck in their stories and where they're getting in their own way. Remind them of their power, remind them of their light. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this profile series. It was so fun to record. As I said, I love the profiles. And yeah, if you want to dive deeper, definitely jump in the certification. I'd love to have you. It's my way that I can give back to you and We go so deep. If you think this podcast is deep, just you wait for what is in the certification. Thank you so much for listening and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for being here. Bye for now.